So, hello everyone, welcome to the cnft.tools Discord server. My name is Toolsin and I'm joined by Oba NFT, who are a uh, anime project, and we are joined by one of the. Sorry, I'm a little bit off today, but yeah, we're joined by Tanium, who's one of the co-founders, I believe.
Yes, that is true. I'm one of the co-founders of this manga-based CNFT project.
Nice. So, how did you get into NFTs, and then why Oba?
Great question. So for a long time, I'd heard about NFTs, right? But I guess before NFTs, it was cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. So I've known about Bitcoin since probably just 2013. Played around a little bit with Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden, I started hearing more about these NFTs, right? And people, creating generative art and come up with these cool little projects. And what was really interesting about NFTs for me, or at least the art-based NFTs, was that they would have one character and they would just sort of mesh different traits and different accessories together and create numerous different characters from a select amount of traits and accessories. And I was pretty interested in that. But about 5 months ago, my brother was really talking to me about NFTs, and he was trying to get me into it. He was like, "You know what, bro? You've got a story, man. You could probably jump in NFTs, and you'd have a great time seeing a community. You'd be interested in your work." So I'm not gonna lie, he sold it to me, all right? And I jumped into the CNFT space because initially I was kind of like, which blockchain would be the best
Yeah.
blockchain to go on? And I obviously saw Ethereum, saw Solana, saw CNFT. My brother was really hyping and gassing up CNFT. He was gassing up the community. Everyone's supportive. So I thought to myself, okay, let's do this project. And that's sort of how I jumped into NFTs. So my brother sort of introduced me to the NFT space, and he said, "You've got a nice little story. How about you bring it to the blockchain, the Cardano blockchain?" So started working with him together on this project, Oba, and then 5 months later, we're here.
So, are you responsible for all the art?
So I am responsible for the art and the story of Oba. But I will say my brother is also an artist. So occasionally, if I'd complete an image, he'd maybe touch up and say, "All right, you need to get rid of a few things here." He would advise me on a few things. But yes, I am the main artist behind Oba, and I'm also the author behind the story of Oba too.
Nice.
So my
So,
brother Donatello focuses on more of the technical and marketing side of things.
okay. So, how long ago was it that all this happened?
So this happened about 5 months ago. About 5 months ago, I was supposed to travel abroad, but due to the PCR tests, they must have given me
Ah,
a yeah, like that.
COVID.
I know, but the thing is, I didn't have COVID. I didn't have COVID. They'd made a mistake when they were testing my sample. So my whole family,
Ah,
they left, they traveled, and it was just me alone with my iPad.
oh
So I
man.
was like, yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on this project. They can enjoy themselves while they're on holiday, and I'm just gonna put my head down and pretty much for the whole duration they're on the holiday, I was just inside the house putting in work on the iPad and just developing the templates, the initial original templates for the characters that we created.
Oh wow. So yeah, that's yeah. I mean, you put the time to good use. That's for sure.
Yeah, come
Oh,
on.
but yeah, that's quite tilting. That's quite tilting.
I'm not mad at it though. I'll be honest with you. I'm not mad at it because I was able to get so much work done. And because obviously the family were away, it was like I had all that time to myself
Yeah,
in
no
peace,
distractions.
in silence, no distractions. I could just focus. And once I had the momentum when they came back, I was like, I'm going to continue working with this speed. And the project started making way.
Very nice. So, are you guys minting at the minute then?
So at the moment, we are minting, right? We have had a supply of 3,333 NFTs, but we must have minted maybe about 10% of that, right? So we gave the option to the community to decide on how we move ahead. So we gave them about three options. One of the options was we focus on marketing and advertising and we really try and get Ober out there. But if we were to do that, we'd have to maybe halt the development of the story in order to advertise to more people and join more Twitter spaces. Because even for the majority of this week, I've pretty much been on spaces every day doing interviews and whatnot. So that's been cool. So we gave them the option for us to continue doing that. Then we gave them another option, which was to shorten the supply to maybe 350 to 400, call it the Genesis Mint. And we just focus on the story. We have a little tiny community and we just keep working, keep grinding and provide as much value to the community as possible. And then the third option was actually a free mint. So we've been giving these votes to the community. And at the moment, the Genesis Mint idea to cut it to about 350 to 400 is what people are voting on. So we've got 24 hours left for the vote to finish. So it seems like we might be taking that direction.
Wow. So yeah, lots of options going on. So how many NFTs were originally planned, and how many have minted now?
So initially we had about over 3,000. So we had 3,333 NFTs. It's kind of a mouthful, but 3,333. Free, right? Four
Yeah.
frees. And then uh, we minted maybe about 300 and I believe around over 310 at the moment. So that's about like 10% or just under 10%.
Right.
So at this point, we're really eager to just continue, man. We're really eager to just start on the project and get people involved in Oba at the moment, rather than spending too much time advertising, too much time marketing. I feel like we want to reward our holders for having our NFT.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's an ongoing vote now, and it's looking like you're gonna cut to the what's minted now, um,
Yeah,
and then jettison the rest, and
yeah.
then
So
you're
we,
gonna
we
move forward with the story and the project with just the ones that are minted now.
exactly. We'll have a few extra NFTs that we might give with giveaways and competitions and whatnot, but we're trying to cut the supply and just get moving, really.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually. I mean, it's a pretty rough market to be minting in, to say the least, right now. So,
You ain't lying. That's facts,
like,
right?
yeah,
Tough, it's tough. Because it's like
yeah.
everyone's like crypto portfolio is probably gone down by quite a bit. So a lot of people who are experiencing crypto kind of understand that as long as you don't sell it, you haven't lost money yet. You just need to keep it there. So I understand the rationale and the reasoning behind the market right now, and I'm not too mad about that. I'm just sort of I'm okay with it. So I'm just ready to keep moving forward. To be honest with you, and
Well,
see
that's
what
the
happens.
thing. I mean, there's always going to be ups and downs and cycles with everything, and yeah, this is a particularly a bad downswing, but the upswing will come, and we just hope it goes up a bit further than it did last time. And then it will
Yeah, I
come back
mean,
down again, and then we hope the next time it goes up a little bit further again.
like a roller coaster ride, man.
Yeah,
Especially
for
in
sure.
crypto.
And I mean, and at the end of it, you have to pivot and you have to work with what you've got because that's how you survive.
100%.
So how? I mean, it's an ugly question to ask, but people are going to want to know. Um, how does the financial difference of only minting 10% versus the full project make? Because obviously, you've still got rent to pay and everything like that. Everyone's got stuff going on. So, was it something that you were relying on to continue, or what's the story?
That's a great question. And I often answer that question by saying that before I got into NFTs, like I said earlier, I was already working on this other project. So whether the NFTs minted successfully or did not mint successfully, the fact that I was already working on the project means that I'm going to continue working on the project regardless of how successful the mint is. So, in terms of the financial side, it wasn't a case of I need to get a certain X amount of crypto before I would focus on working on the project and being able to give my all to the project. It was more a case of if we do make some money, that's great. If not, we continue working on the project because I was already working on the project before I got into CNFTs. It was more a case of with CNFTs, we can involve the community to vote on how the project progresses.
So yeah, this is more a project of love than a project of you need this to work to pay your rent and stuff.
Yeah, 100%, because getting your name out there for people to be interested in your work, just normally as a graphic novel artist and slash author, can be tricky to begin with. But the NFT did offer us sort of marketing exposure to get more people involved into the community of Oba. So it actually gave us a lot of more fans than we would have if we didn't enter into the CNFT space. So I can only be happy about that, to be honest with you. And any money that is made on the side, I ain't complaining.
Well, this always helps. So obviously you've been working on this project a long time, like since before. This was all pre NFTs as well, then yes, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so pre NFTs. So for example, like on the first page of the manga, if you actually check the Instagram, the first page of the manga was created in 2020. So it's been a project which has long been in my mind, uh, waiting to come out to fruition, and the CFT space has just offered an opportunity to do that.
Very nice. So did you have any plans in the physical world that you're still continuing with, or how has everything adapted from what your original vision was before the NFT thing came around?
Original vision was create a cool little story and find some way to get it out to the public. Post NFTs, now it's out in the public. People are interested in the project, and now it's just about delivering the project at a high level so people can enjoy it. So before that, it was like, okay, I probably have to go to a publisher. I would have to do a lot of marketing, maybe on Instagram, maybe connect with a few high level people to get the word out there about the story. But through NFTs, it's been sort of like a marketing strategy. So, for example, people see the NFTs and like, okay, cool, what is this? Okay, he's got an animal on the shoulder. Okay, cool, what is this? I think I like the art, so let me uh, check to see what the story is about. So before that, we didn't have the NFT. So it'd be a case of I would need to somehow advertise the manga in a more conventional way. But with the rise of NFTs and NFTs become popular, by creating my own NFTs, I was able to get people to share it, to retweet it, to post it, and so it gained more exposure for me and the project Oba.
So yeah, I mean, so how long do you see the project going on for? Like,
That's a
how far
that's a
ahead of it do you have it planned out for?
that's a great question. So, in terms of the ideas that I have in my head, I'll be honest, this project could last forever because I've had so many ideas. Because like we got to think about this, we got to take it back, right? Since seven, I started drawing and coming up with ideas and stories. Since teenhood, I've already come up with sort of like ideas for worlds and powers, etc., etc. So I've got so many different ideas for Oba, which if I was to put all those ideas into a physical format or into a manga, it would take many years for it to actually be fleshed out and complete. So we'll start with season one, right? Our NFTs are called Oba season one, and we'll see how season one goes. If people are receptive to it, if they're enjoying it, and then in the future, if people are really vibing with our story, or if people are really vibing with our project, we can 100% extend it to a season two, or a season three, or a season four, or season five. It really depends on the community and their involvement. But in terms of story and ideas, I've got a lot of ideas and a lot of story plans for the future of Oba, 100%. I've
So,
sort of got it all like mapped out like a skeleton of the trials because it's based on trials, free trials. So I've got a skeleton map for all the trials and all the characters to meet and so forth and so forth. So there's a lot of content out there, 100%, and it could last for years, maybe decades. It depends on how things go, really.
well, like that's certainly a long term future there for sure. So without giving away too much in the way of spoilers, what type of story is it? Like, give us a
Great
brief
question.
synopsis of the story.
Hey, this is my favorite part of the interview. I get into character for this. I'll be honest, this is my favorite part. I get into character for this story. So whenever you're ready, I'll drop the story. Just say when.
Right, you know what? Let me boost the volume on you ever so slightly, just so we get this in its full glory. Right.
I
Okay,
like
that was
that.
a little loud. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Drop the alpha.
Okay. For thousands of years, there have been talks of an ancient island, seemingly impossible to find and even harder to stay alive in. Many go in search of this island for honor, for glory, and for power, but most return with nothing. This island is called Inuk, a mystical and mysterious island filled with numerous obstacles. It's an island set to test one's strength, tenacity, and courage. The trials were grueling and tested every aspect of one's entire being. This island was split into three expansive areas of desert fortified by mountains, and the only access point was through what is known as the Yellow Blizzard. The Yellow Blizzard being a series of raging sandstorms, greeting all who wished to enter. But yet, despite this drudgery and turmoil, this landscape offers the perfect training ground for the most elite Obas of the land. Now, our story starts with a young man called Ike. He's trying to become an Oba. Obas in our story are powerful beings that exist in this world who have earned the title by completing the free trials of Agbra. Agbra is a Yoruba word meaning power. So the free trials of power. Now, this is all on the island of Enoch where the story is set. Now, Ike, our main character, after experiencing a crushing heartbreak, decides to embark on the journey to the land of Enoch to become an Oba. On his journey, Ike will meet many friends along the way, face many challenges, and if he is successful, he will become an Oba. Now, as I always say, if you look at our NFTs, we have these animals on the shoulders. Now, these animals are very special animals. They're known as elects. They're essentially sand spirit animals, and they have the inverse personality of their host. For example, one of our main characters, his name is Caleb. He's a very calculated, methodical, serious type of character. And his elect is more goofy, more boisterous, and more clumsy. So the idea is this. Throughout the trials, they must learn to resolve their differences and reach what is known as resonance. Once they reach resonance, harmonize, they will fuse together to become an infamous Oba. So come along on the journey to find out what it takes to successfully complete the free trials and become an Oba. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty amazing.
I get into character anytime I say that. Anytime I say the story,
Well, that's
you
the
can
thing.
see
I mean,
you get it.
it's yeah. Your skills in writing prose are showing through there. That's for sure.
Thank you very appreciate it.
So, what kind of interaction do people have with their NFTs going through the trials?
Great question. So what we're going to do is we're incorporating a vote system. So people who are holders of the NFT will get access to a channel which they can only see where they will be able to vote for what happens in the story. And the way that will happen is after a series of pages occurs during the of a story, there will be a choice which will be offered, a series of choices. And what our holders will have the right to do is to select one of those choices, and they'll be fairly different choices. So it will be the story can really move in wonky and different directions, but it will still follow a serious and more structured narrative. But the idea is that after a series of pages, the people are offered a choice to vote on what happens next, and once they make their vote, I start working on the next pages, and it will sort of be structured like that. And we'll have competitions, which will allow for people to have their NFTs as characters. So one of the competitions that we are going to be working on, I think this week, will actually be for people who are holders of our NFT will enter into the competition. And once they enter the competition, the NFT will be scaled to a full body. So right now, if you look at the NFT is just the shoulders and the head. But they're successfully selected, they will have a full scale of their NFT and also a short bio, which we're going to get them to get involved in. And that's going to be placed permanently in the lore section with all of the characters and all of the lore that we have.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds pretty sweet actually. It's a phrase that you're probably going to hear me say a few times during this AMA by the sound of it.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, you know.
So, I don't think I've seen anything, but are you guys doing anything with staking and those kind of like coins and everything like that?
Stuff like the DAO and stuff like that.
I didn't know that you had the DAO.
I don't. I'm just saying. I'm just offering that as a potential option
I
for
mean,
you. Trying to
this is why I'm here to find out new things and to be suitably surprised. So, yeah, lay all the the non-art story stuff on me.
Well, we haven't laid anything like a DAO or a staking, but that's the thing. This is an early story. We're also very up for suggestions. We've got a little suggestion box that people can throw their suggestions in. So we're completely up for scaling the story and scaling the staking and coming up with different technologies to use for the story. But at the moment, we've kept it pretty old school, right? Through a voting system. But in the future, anything can happen. Really, never say never.
So, it's a shame that your brother's not here, but what's his background and what's he good at technical wise for for people that are wondering the sorts of things that might be more workable for you guys than not.
So his side is marketing and the technical aspects of it. We, I'm trying to think the best way to answer this question. He's always been, go on.
Yeah, or I'd say because I mean there's always the option of working with third party providers for things like staking and everything like that. There's some really strong groups that are reaching out to projects right now offering their services.
Ooh, that's interesting. What type of groups are we talking about?
Um, you see, now I'm putting myself in the spot trying to remember these things off my head. But I think it's like Cardano Island had something going. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, there's quite a few out there that are working with stuff. I'm not sure if Secret Goat Society are doing anything. But yeah, there's a few out there, and I'll have to dig them out of my DMs and send them over to you later on.
Okay, that's
But
interesting.
generally, they're able to provide staking with coin rewards of your own choice, and then you can either have them listed or not listed as you choose, and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, that's definitely something to look into. Because when I talk about technicalities and the technical side for my bro, I'm talking about sort of like the CNFT space, how it works, how it operates, and he specializes in networking with people, connecting us with different projects and whatnot. Whereas I'm more focused on the story, I'm more focused on the art. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
we've got like a few different people to help us with the minting. For example, we had Mint City, and that allowed for a very smooth mint. You also worked with some guys which helped code the generative art as well. So we've worked with other people, and I guess staking would also be an interesting thing to look into in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's like some projects find it a way to be able to reward their longer term holders, which would definitely apply to your Genesis holders. And then would
Mm,
allow to provide other tiered rewards with project with other NFTs down the line as well.
interesting. Very
But
interesting.
yeah, it's the kind of thing. It's one of those things that so many projects have, but
Mm.
probably 70% of the projects that have it really have no business being involved in it.
You
Like,
see, this is one of the
I'm
reasons.
sat here telling you about all this, but it's for me, it's quite refreshing to see a project without every single hype word included in the roadmap.
I
Like.
completely understand. That's what we are trying to do. Look, we weren't trying to promise too much. we were just trying to give you an enjoyable experience that you're able to jump on maybe when you finish work, read through the story, be involved in the story. So, for example, like in the future, I always say this: imagine yourself, just lying down in your living room, maybe having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and then you hear a knock on the door, and it's the postman. The postman drops down a parcel. You open the parcel up, and you see it's a book. Title of the book says Oba, and you look at the authors, and then it says that you're a co-author in this story, and then you read the whole book, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I voted for this, and then this happened, and you go through the whole book, and you realize, wow, I was actually instrumental in creating this story. I am actually part of the authors, you know. So we weren't trying to do
How
anything
have we
too
got this far
complex,
into
too
the
complicated.
AMA without that whole thing coming out before? By the
I have to lay out slowly, you know what I'm saying? Can't give everything at once.
way.
Other people come in and they want to hear some gems.
Oh damn! So yeah, people are able to a get physical copies, and b be named as a contributor and co-author.
Yes, in terms of physical copies, it's not been confirmed physical copies but we'll see what that's like the vision. That's what we're trying to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
what I'm saying?
physical copies are going to be expensive.
Exactly, exactly. So it's like how when you're talking about the minting situation, where it's like if you have more people minting and you do make more funds, right? Then you're able to think about certain things that would not be possible if you didn't have the funds,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah. Because I mean, sort of like when you're looking at publishing books and stuff like that, publishers might have a thousand minimum
Mm,
to even look at running the print.
exactly,
So
exactly,
if you've got 150, 200 people, then they're not all going to buy five. They're not
exactly,
NFTs.
exactly. Unless it's like a self-publishing. If it was to
Yeah,
self-publish,
yeah.
then it would be possible to, print maybe 100, 200 books. Depends on the demand. So I guess it's not an impossibility. In fact, it's very possible to do.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. I was saying, especially with the personalisation worked in there as well. It's not a standard thing, even in today's customization of everything. It's not a standard thing to be able to do.
Mm.
So, what other gems are you planning to drop on us today then?
Well, I've been working behind the scenes on some narration stuff actually.
Okay, you've got a good
Yeah,
voice for it,
yeah.
actually. I do
Thank
like
you
your
very
voice
much.
for it.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So people have been telling me that. I didn't know this. So I'm like, oh, okay. We can use this to our advantage. So I've been working on a couple of recordings for the story, and I want to see if we can make that a possibility for some of our holders um, to be able to get narrated pages of the book. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like, so I mean, how much did these NFTs cost?
65 ADA.
Okay, so I mean, that's a lot of value coming through if it's a story that you like and you want to take part in it. That's at the very
Yeah,
least, it's going to be years of entertainment.
exactly, 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 exactly. I think there's definitely great potential in this project, and my objective is just to fulfill that in any way I can. Really.
So, have you had any ideas? Well, actually, I'll ask a slightly different question first. What collabs have you done?
Collabs.
Yeah.
So first off, I guess it would be smart for me to say that we were part of the JPEG Launchpad program, right?
Yes. Yes.
So one of the benefits of being on the JPEG Launchpad program is that there are other projects which are up and coming that you're able to, talk to, connect with,
Yeah.
and collab with. So in our cohort, I believe we were the second cohort, we had big projects like Introverts. We had big projects like Melted Moon Boys. So we did a few collab pieces with them where we offered whitelist spots, and they gave us some whitelist spots as well. And we sort of did collabs with them. we've done collabs with. I'm not gonna lie, I've done quite a few. I couldn't even tell you all of the names because there's actually been quite a few over the period of the past 5 months. But I say big ones, definitely not Moon Boys. Um, Definitely introverts. We did Aiden Ninjas as well because Aiden Ninjas were a big inspiration for our projects as well. So Aiden Ninjas 2, we had Hema High School, we had The Apprentices, and a bunch more.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I did wonder if there was going to be any room for you popping up in the Ada Ninjas game because I know they're doing collabs with different projects and stuff like that, and you know,
That's interesting. You know what? It's funny because I was looking at the Twitter messages and we they did send us some stuff and some videos about their game. So I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool, man. So, anything's possible, man, especially in the CNFT space. You never
have
know
you
what's
played
gonna
the
happen
game yet?
next. I haven't played the game, unfortunately. No, I haven't played the game. I've just seen the trailers and the videos. Have you played the game?
I have. It's on public beta at the minute, or at
Ooh,
least it
okay.
was when I
How you
played
find
it.
it?
Um, it's a little bit twitchy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit older and I don't necessarily have quite the reaction needed to be good at a game like that. I enjoy it, but I suck at it. Is probably
I get.
the best way to put it. But no, it's a bit of fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the beta, right? So who knows what's gonna happen in the future? This is just their first attempt. Second attempt's probably gonna be better, third attempt, and so forth and so forth.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's such an overused phrase, but we're all like pretty early in the space. So
Hmm.
it takes a lot of time to develop and polish a project, a product, and to allow just to allow the market to mature, especially when we're going through the ructions that we are right now with everything.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, what kind of timeline do you see it being before sort of like your next major announcement? So, with what's going on with either the cutting of supply or whatever's going on with that.
So if we moonwalk back a little bit, then we are doing the last 24 hours of the vote that we're currently doing. So I feel it was like 72 hours. So we gave the holders enough time for them to make a vote on our Discord server.
Yeah.
So the 24 hours is going to end today or maybe a little bit later tomorrow, and then we'll post a major announcement of what happens. It's looking like it's going to move in the direction of cutting the supply. So if it's cutting the supply, we'll drop an announcement on cutting the supply, and then we'll start dropping announcements on getting the competitions for people to get their NFTs into the story and full scale NFT characters based off their NFTs. So we're going to start there, and then we're going to soon drop the airdrops of the manga pages as well. And then we're going to move on to the votes, and it's going to continue and continue and continue on like that.
Very nice. So, have you got any more collabs lined up in the future, or is it something that you're just exploring at the minute?
So for the past 5 months, we've been doing collabs with different communities and different projects. The past week, we've been on Twitter Spaces talking to different projects, getting our name out there. As of right now, we haven't scheduled any collabs for, let's say, next week and whatnot, because what we really want to do is just focus on getting those pages out to our community, sorting out the supply, just sorting out all of these things which need to be sorted out, and then we can consider doing more collabs. But 100% collabs are coming in the future. But we're just trying to focus on, you know, providing for our community members who have our NFT at the moment.
I mean, yeah, that makes a huge amount of sense. Um, really like that direction. Did just want to make sure that everybody's aware that if you've got any questions, just to fire them into the AMA chat, and I'll make sure that Talim gets a chance to answer. By look, thank you all for showing up. It's an absolute pleasure having you. I know a couple of you had requested this on multiple occasions, so glad to be helping out here.
It's great to be here as well, man. I love connecting with the community. I love seeing fans of the work, and it's always great to talk to um, different projects and being here on CNFT Tools as well. You guys have got something big here, man. So it's pretty sweet to be here and be able to talk about my project.
So, I mean, is there anything that we haven't touched on that you think we should have at this point?
Great question. Hmm. Let's go in the archives of my mind and see if you know what I'm saying.
I
Check the
mean,
Rolodex.
I'm not trying to end the AMA at all. I'm just trying to make sure that we get everything covered before we start going off on tangents.
No, I get that completely. All right, let me think. So obviously we've got a supply of 65. Uh, we've got a supply of 3,333. It's going to probably get cut based on the voting poll that we have placed on our Discord server. The minting price at the moment is 65 ADA. We're going to be doing manga drops of the pages. We're going to be creating a voting system. We're going to have competitions for you to get your characters into the NFTs, and also into the lore as permanent fixtures in the Oba universe. Um, Maybe in the future we might have some merchandise and a physical copy of the book, but that's based on the success of this project and if people are really into the Obaverse and into the story. Anything on top of that? Not that I can say at the moment. I'm sure there's probably at least five things I'm missing that I just can't get out of my head
Yeah.
right now. But you know what? We'll stick with that for now.
So here's a question I like to ask people every now and again. What was the first NFT that you minted?
I believe it was. I think it was a Melton Moon Boy,
Oh,
but
nice.
I do need to check. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because that's quite a recent one as well. So I mean,
yeah.
it's
So I personally don't really mint much. My brother's the one that really mints a lot, and he's been telling me that all the cool projects and whatnot. And I've seen some cool projects as well that I definitely want to mint. Like for example, I want to try and mint a couple of Ada ninjas. You know,
oh yeah,
um, yeah, because I
yeah,
saw the growth of Ada ninjas. Literally, if even just from the artwork itself, right? If you look at season one, right, and you look at season two, and you see that they decided to have more of a painting effect
yeah.
on the color scheme. And then you look at season three, and you're like, "Whoa, what happened here?" You just see the jump of how the artist progressed. It's actually pretty amazing. And I don't know if we're lucky enough, we might be able to see a jump like that from our season one to season two to season three. So we'll see what happens. Because what I want to do is I don't just want to be working on the manga. I also want to be working on improving my art style as well. So I have like time spent just working on improving art skill, and then time spent focused on working on the project and so forth and so forth.
Nice. So what is it you do for your day job? You don't obviously don't dox yourself or anything like that. But what in general is your day job?
Okay. That's a good question. All right. To not dox myself, I would say I work in a distribution center.
Oh, okay. Yeah, funnily
Yeah.
enough, I did the same before I joined the NFT space.
Really? See,
Yeah, yeah.
we're
I
brothers,
was
you know.
throwing boxes with the best of them, and I was made an
Probably some
offer
of
that
those
I couldn't
boxes are
refuse.
breaking.
Funnily enough, it might
Yeah,
be the same place.
imagine. That's an off call convo, though, isn't it?
Very much so. So a good question's popped up in chat, which I'd had in my mind to get to. How long will the mint stay up after the vote goes through? And I think the other part of it is, are you going to cut it off at what's already been minted, or are you going to allow it to go to say like 500 to allow people to pick up a couple more before it closes?
Well, at the moment, it's looking like we're gonna cut it off at 350. That's what it's looking like. No, I was talking to my brother about it, right? And he focuses on that area and that side. He was thinking we're gonna possibly cut it at 350. Now, at the moment, we've probably made maybe 310, around 310 or so, something around that area. So there'll probably be like 40, which people can mint to their heart's content, and we might have some leftover for giveaways and competitions and whatnot. But we're trying to cut the supply possibly to 350. People who are currently interested in the project, they can pick up some more before we cut the supply. But I imagine, all right, don't quote me on this because this is really where Donatello shines. But I imagine once we've minted the 350, then it would stop, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, it's yeah. It was. I mean, is the number it stops at, is that part of the community vote, or is that something that is decided by you guys?
Well, in the options, right, we had a range from, I believe, in fact, I can probably slyly try and look at it if I can. But we had a range of, let's see, 350 to 400. So this is literally what it says, right? On our Discord for one of the votes, right, it says limit supply to 350 to 400,
Right.
um, and rename as the Genesis Mint, and we'll auction off the one of ones, so the big ones.
Yeah, yeah,
So 350 is still in the range of 350 to 400. So you could arguably say that the community have voted for this. That makes sense
yeah. No,
because
that makes perfect
you know.
sense. Yeah. Sorry, just finding the sneak peeks. There we go. So how many one of ones are there?
There are five one of ones, five one of ones, and you know what's super funny? What's super funny is on the day of mint, right? One of our top ranking NFT, the one of one, the main one of one, the highest ranking one of one, got minted early, and then we got
Oh,
yeah. We were on the Twitter Spaces and everyone was just talking about it, and we were like, oh, who's gonna mint the one of one? Who's gonna win the one of one? And then all of a sudden, you
it's like,
find
oh well, everybody
out.
knows now.
But we still got some cool one of ones left. We've got some cool one of ones left. We've got at the moment we've got Kiki, right? The female lead.
Yeah,
We've got UK, the main character. We've got Caleb, who's the guy I spoke about when I was talking about the story. He's also a main lead. And then we have Ulysses. And Ulysses, I'm not going to expose too much about him. Check him on our Discord. We've got a little bit of lore about him, but we'll soon be releasing more about him. But we've got five one of ones. So one has already been taken. So we've still got four left to be scooped up. But what we would probably do, based on our on what we've provided in the vote section, is we'll auction off the remaining one of ones.
sweet. I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. So when will that be likely to take place?
Great question, but it's a question I do not have the answer. I do not have the answer to that question. But I'm sure within the coming days to end of the week, we should have a final um, answer on when those will be minted.
Nice.
So stay tuned, guys. Check the Discord, check the Twitter. You might find out more.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to think about, you know, but it's all part of the game.
So, I mean, aside from the entire crypto market crashing around us, what's been the some of the more difficult hurdles you've had to overcome?
Do you know what? One of the most difficult things when it came to working on this NFT project was getting all of the traits and accessories to line up correctly. The amount of redos I had to do was crazy. The amount
Oh
of
man.
cool hairstyles I had to remove and throw away because it wouldn't work drove me mad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hurt my soul because like everything has to connect, and that's the thing about these generative arts, especially because it has to be created in such a way where all the accessories match up. Sometimes you'll create an amazing accessory and then you'll load it into the computer and then you come up with an NFT and that NFT just looks strange. It just looks weird. It doesn't make sense. Or
Yeah.
certain things are intersecting. Or when you're drawing, you draw an amazing piece and then someone else checks the piece and they realize there's lots of dots and little stray marks that you made because you weren't careful enough, and then they have to clean it all up. That was also another nightmare. But we made it. We made it.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite clear that even with all those difficulties and stuff like that, you put the time in to make it right.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And with the manga page as well, I had to do some cleaning up as well. So I would say the most difficult part would be the cleaning up. And then I guess another part which is often missed is marketing. Marketing is key when it comes to getting your NFT out there. For so long, we're working on the project, but we never did no interviews. We didn't do any AMAs. We didn't do any Twitter spaces. So it was just like this phantom NFT project that exists somewhere in the CNFT ecosystem,
Yeah.
just lying there in space like a ghost. But past a week or so, I've been on Twitter Spaces. I've been even hosting my own Twitter space, trying to get people on, and making my presence more known to the wider community. That has been a tricky thing to do. And the reason it's tricky is because of timing, right? We're in the UK. So
Yeah.
when you are, you know what I'm saying? You already
Yeah.
know what I'm saying. So I have to wake up at certain times, or for example, I had to be in a Twitter space. It was like 2 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. And then obviously Twitter spaces can last for like hours on end. So it's like I'm there and I'm talking about a project, but I'm half asleep. And I have to keep talking about a project and communicating with all the people in the audience. So I would say the artwork, spend a lot of time on artwork and cleaning up all the marks, the stray marks, as well as marketing with people on other sides of the world where you have to get the time zones exactly correct, where you're not suffering and they're not suffering. That can also be a difficult thing. And then getting onto Twitter Space to speak, because at first you're a bit shy, like, oh, I don't want to talk, I don't want anyone to hear my voice. But then after a while, you have to overcome that fear and you just have to talk and just get used to that. So there's a lot of hurdles, when creating a project. But if you really love the project, if you really think that what you're doing is gonna go somewhere, then you'll find a way to make it happen. Where there's a will, there is a way.
So another question that's popping up: will there be any benefits of owning a one of one?
Hmm. Well, that's a great question.
Like,
One I haven't.
especially with an auction coming up.
Hmm. That's something I haven't factored too much in because initially, right when we started the project, the one of ones would have spoke for themselves, right?
Yeah.
In the sense of if people are interested in the project and then you get enough of a following, then if you just own a one of one, then if you do want to, sell it on and whatnot, then it would be advantageous to you. So, for example, like the Oba one of one, as soon as that person got it, bro, I'm telling you, he listed it on JPEG Store for like 7,777 because he was like, you know what,
Oh,
I want to see if I can
I'm
make
glad
some
there was
some.
four figures in there, and it wasn't like 43 Ada. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what? I will say one thing though. This is where it will be interesting. It will be interesting if you are successfully able to get your one of one voted in to the story. Then I have no choice but to bring your one of one into the story as a and incorporate in an interesting way. So, for example, you've got different levels of characters, right? You've got your rooks. Now, rooks um, are actually humans who have successfully passed through the Yellow Blizzard, met the Desert Gate Guardian Kemba, and he titles them as rooks, and he separates them from their elect, their sand spirit animal. So you've got rooks, and then in the NFTs, you've also got Obas as well, and Obas are the ones with yellow eyes. So what separates Obas from everyone else is they have yellow eyes and they have white hair. So if you were to successfully get an Oba character and then he was selected to be in the story, we'd have to find a way to get your super overpowered character in the story and make it make sense. So I think that'd be super funny. I'm not gonna lie to you, but there's so many ways we could work it in. There's so many ways.
I mean, I'm sure the community voting for it will have ideas of what they want to do with it as well. So
Yeah, 100%,
it's,
100%.
it's, it's definitely a collaboration on that front, I'm sure.
Hmm.
So do you get much in the way of like fan fiction and fan art as well then?
Do you know what? Since starting this project, this would be the first time that I've actually seen fan art for any work that I've done. So obviously, I've been an artist for many years now, and I have an Instagram or whatnot. Um, but working on this project, it was interesting to see people were so engaged and they liked the art to at least such a degree that they were coming up with these really cool fan art pieces. So if you look at our channel, we had a fan art channel, and the fan art channel had lots of different cool ways that people's minds would create images about us, uh, about our characters. So we saw a lot of cool
I'm
fan art.
just
You know,
gonna
it was really interesting actually.
So I'm just going to
I believe it's
interrupt
a
you to
couple.
let
God.
people know that if you're watching this back on YouTube, the next few images you'll see will be some of the fan art. Sorry, yeah,
Ooh.
carry on. I'm recording on another screen so people can watch this back on YouTube. Just letting people know that I'm going to be displaying fan art as well as your own stuff.
Okay, sweet, sweet. So yeah, we did have a lot of fan art, and what was really cool is they did fan art in really interesting ways. So, for example, one class of character that we have um, in the story are an aqua class, which is like a water class. So, what this guy did is he created this video, and he was using like these special gloves which lighted up at the tips, and he was essentially trying to create an image of water based on the aqua glass, and it was just really well done. It was like finger puppets, right, where
Nice.
the tips of the fingertips were sort of lighting up, so they were blue to represent aqua, and he was sort of doing all these weird, intricate dance moves with his fingers. It was really mesmerizing. I was looking, I was like, "Whoa! I ain't never seen this before." It was like a different type of fan art because usually when you think of fan art, you're thinking of people just copying your art, making it look exactly the way it was portrayed initially.
Mm.
But what he did was something completely outside the box. So I love that. I love seeing fan art. I love seeing that uh, people draw our art or my art. It's pretty cool to see. So yeah, really respect people that do that.
That's the thing. I mean, like it's it's a very well drawn and stylized project, I think, and it's very well presented, and it doesn't shock me at all that you've needed to create an entire channel just for the fan art for it. Honestly, like I hadn't seen the fan art channel when I asked the question, but it didn't shock me that you had one.
Yeah, yeah. Is as an artist though, you're always thinking about how you can improve your art. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was younger, man, people say, "Oh, you can draw, you can draw, you can draw," but I'm like, "Nah, it's not quite there yet," because you have your own vision of what you're trying to create. So yeah, it's great to have people connecting with my art and being willing to do fan art on it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, some of these are really talented as well, actually,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like really
So that's the
talented.
thing. There's artists who are undercover, right? They're not really known. They like to draw art for themselves, but they're amazing artists. And if they like something, they'll draw it and they might post it up. And then you see it and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
there are amazing. It's like even with story writing as well. Like we had one competition a while back where people were to write stories based on a character, an NFT character that we gave them. And I'm not gonna lie, some of these stories, I was like, wow, yeah, you might as well write the story I'm writing right now because this is some pretty good stuff. You know, because there's
Yeah,
talent
I mean,
everywhere.
like the general level of creativity of the average CNFT fan is seems really high. You know, like I mean, I'm quite envious because I don't necessarily have like I can't draw to save my life. I can barely give a stick figure. And even then, it ends up mangled and warped. So, like,
What? No, I don't
I
believe you.
absolutely love all this. I have absolutely no concept of what it takes to actually be able to do it because I just can't. I don't have that brain, unfortunately. But
Hey, do you know what? No, I don't believe that. You know why? Because when I initially started drawing, I could only draw stick figures, and I was pretty dead at that as well. It's literally just one of those things where it's a skill, and you have to put in a hell of time, and
yeah,
and effort and energy, and then eventually you'll get to some degree. You'll be decent, and just keep moving on from there. So there's potential, man. Don't give up on yourself yet.
yeah. Well, who knows? Yeah.
10 years, you could be a CNFT artist, bro. But you're gonna probably have to do like 4 hours plus a day till then.
Yeah. And so, well, I'll see if I can find some time. I'll just see if I can find 10,000 hours. It'll be fine.
Hey, I know the struggle, man. I know the struggle. Time is hard to find these days, man. Especially the older you get.
Yeah. That's saying I've got an international move to get out of the way yet. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, while I absolutely suck at it, for me at least, it makes me appreciate what people like you can do even more.
Mm,
You know what I
mm,
mean? Like, I have other stuff that I'm good at that other people aren't so good at, but I really appreciate good art.
mm. And
Or at
we
least my
appreciate you
version
for
of good
appreciating.
art anyway. Because everybody's got different views and everything after all, but good
Yeah,
art is good art.
yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
So, I mean, I asked you about some of the hurdles, but what's been some of the, you know, the, have you have you had any like eureka moments throughout the project?
Hmm. Eureka moments. I think maybe when I was doing the art for the project, I was thinking to myself, is this gonna end up looking good? Because initially you're drawing all the traits, and you don't know what your project is gonna look like till the end. It's kind of crazy because you're drawing all
Yeah, yeah,
the
because everything's
accessories. You know what I'm
individual, isn't
saying?
it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I was drawing eyes individually, expressions. I was drawing hair individually. I was drawing accessories individually. I was drawing clothes individually. I was drawing the Sanskrit Alex individually. So with my iPad, we've just got a bunch of folders for each individual trait. So when I was able to see everything come together, when it was all coded together, I just looked at it from a distance, like Van Gogh, right? It was just like, wow. I feel
yeah.
even more excited and more empowered to take this to the next level. So I
Yeah.
think that was definitely a eureka moment for me when I actually saw the finished product. I was like, okay, we're actually doing something here. This is actually pretty good. But the funny thing is this: initially, when the coders were coding the art for us, right? They mixed the feminine and masculine traits up. So
Oops.
we had about 3,000 images of people that
Ah.
were both male and female.
I mean,
Yeah,
slightly. I mean, it's a slightly different direction, but I'm not going to knock it.
yeah. I was like, maybe in the future, but right now we have a
Yeah.
vision right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's like a call to arms, isn't it?
Don't worry, they fixed it eventually, and then we managed to get everything right. But what it was like you'd have male jawline, maybe you'd have female eyes, then you have male hair. So
Yeah.
everything was just all
Yeah. And
disordered.
yeah. So, how many different base models do you have?
So we've got three base models, right? We've got the brown skin, we've got the beige skin, and we've got the red skin. Those are the base
Right.
templates that we used.
Okay.
Because
And do you
initially we
have
had
male
them.
and female? Are the male and female the same template, or are they a different template?
So the male and female are a different template, and what we kind of tried to do is we tried to thicken the jawline up for the male. For the female, we thinned the jawline down and we thinned the neck down, and then we added female clothes, female hair, female expressions. That's what we did.
No, cool. So, I mean, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. How did you feel waiting for that first moment, that first time you actually got to see everything all together? Because, I mean, how long had you been working on everything up until that point without actually knowing what it's going to look like?
So we were working for about 5-ish months, and occasionally my bro would like mesh everything together, like expressions, all of the traits, and then he would send me a photo image, and he'd be like, "Bro, look at this, look at this, look at this." And I'll look and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, cool, cool." and then he would do that periodically um, throughout those 5 months. But it was only 5 months in where I was able to see every single NFT that was created, all 3,333. And the only mad thing, the only annoying thing, yeah, for me is this: that I won't, that the community won't be able to see all of the different combinations that exist. That's the only thing I'm a bit annoyed about. But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, how has everything worked out? I mean, is there traits that aren't that you plan to appear that aren't going to appear at all?
So I believe there might be traits which might not come out. There might be because there's certain combinations. So, for example, we even got the coder to code specific combinations that we wanted as well.
Yeah,
That would be really cool. That I thought would be really cool. So it would have the rare elects, it would have the rare clothing items, have the rare expressions, the rarer hairstyles, and these would be separate from the one of ones, right?
right.
Um, Whether we're gonna have my bro try and get these out as well. Like maybe I don't know, maybe for auction possibly. It could be for auction, or it could just be out in the remaining NFTs that we have. That's up for debate. But yeah, yeah.
I
Uh,
don't know.
uh,
Maybe a small tribute project of the lost traits coming down the line later on. Then.
hey, you ain't lying. That's a possibility. Still, we can put it on the table and come back to that most definitely, and add a few extra traits as well. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah,
Anything's
definitely.
possible.
I just really like the idea of the lost traits. Like like that's you pivot something that isn't ideal that you didn't necessarily plan to do, and you poke some fun at it and you have some fun with it.
The lost trait collection, the lost obbers. Who
Yeah,
knows, man?
yeah,
Stay
yeah.
around is that?
Yeah. I do apologise if you're getting like lots of revving car outside. I'm assuming it's an idiot. I'm not quite sure though.
I can't even hear anything, so you're good. If you didn't say anything, I would have no idea.
That's all right then. Oh dear. So yeah, I mean, just check chat for any more questions. Oh yeah, there's a couple of hellos from Dull and Jerice and Crispy
Hey,
and everyone else.
shout out to Dog, shout out to Drees, my G's, my legends. Love those guys. Appreciate them. They're top guys in the community, man. So respect to these guys. I had to give a shout out to Wilson. I had to.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Um, but yeah, I think we're getting to the point where we can start moving toward wrapping up if there isn't any further questions.
None from mine. I don't think I've got any questions for Oba.
I say I've not been monitoring your guys' chat as much because I've been surfing around all the different fan pictures for the last 10 minutes.
It's calm, man.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean
chilling.
some of them are really bloody good. Like I mean some of them look like they could be actual overs. Um,
Hey, never say never. That's what I'm saying.
So like it's that was why I had to jump in and just say like not all of the all this is going to be fan fiction from now on because some of it really could be like someone's going to be coming. Oh, I want to buy that.
Mm-hmm. I hear that loud and clear.
But yeah, if there isn't any other questions, I think we should probably move towards wrapping up. Um, Absolute pleasure chatting to you, dude.
Yeah, man. It's also nice talking to you, man. It's been great conversation, great discussion.
Yeah, and it's good to see a project that's be able to pivot and come back from a mint that didn't go quite according to plan.
Yeah, yeah. We found a way, found a way.
That's I mean, great community as well. Obviously, I've had more than one request for this AMA. So if you're somebody that requested the AMA and you're watching this back on YouTube, make sure you click the like button and the share button, and make sure that people that might be interested in the project get the chance to see it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're feeling really generous, lend a subscribe. But make sure, most of all, you go to the Twitter and the website, which will be linked down below the video. And yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for turning up. And we'll look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Yep. Thank you guys for turning up. It's been a pleasure. I've been able to talk to you today.
Cool. Yeah, and yeah, I'll hit you up after I press stop recording.
Yeah.
Cheerio, everyone.
Peace.